Indianapolis. Two teams never played each other, both expansion franchises. Which one is going to come out on top today? We will find out right now. From Indianapolis, the Circle City, we have two teams, expansion franchises, never before played each other. The London Knights visit the Indianapolis Red Devils here in the Ninth Circle. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. My name is Eric Vinson. Thank you for joining us today. Alongside Levant Mercer doing the analysis today for me. What's going on, Levant?
It's all right with me. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Glad to have you along. It's a little chilly here in Indy. 30 degrees, about 9-mile-an-hour winds. So should not really affect the play today. What are you looking for in today's matchup?
Both of these teams really love to pass the ball deep, and hopefully they're not as conservative as they have been the last 2 weeks, because we really need to see something from each of these teams. They're both been struggling of late and should have a good foothold in their division.
Indy from the Central Division, and London obviously from the Eastern Division. Both meeting each other for the first time. Mentioned it already a couple different times. London will actually kick off to start the game. London losing against Tallahassee in their last game after winning 3 straight. We'll see if they can right the ship here as we kick off here from Indianapolis. From about the 3-yard line, the Red Devils will bring it up to about the 25. Brought back by number 25. And that is where things will start for the Red Devils, led by quarterback Nathan Lee. And as Levant mentioned, both these teams very pass happy. You got to look at Slyn Shady over there on the defensive end for London. He is a monster. He will be all over the place here today. As Lee throws right out the gate, big completion for the first down out to the 43-yard line.
Really glad to see the quick trigger release there, because of London will be coming hard and fast, so it's good to see that.
McCormick, I believe, on the receiving end of that. Eli McCormick and Dan Daly are the two wideouts. Both will be catching pretty much everything that Nathan Lee throws him, as we get another throw, this time to the other wide receiver, and that is Dan Daly with his first catch today.
They're going to come up big in this game, both Daly and McCormick. They're in at least the top 10 of receiving so far this season.
Matthew Mitchell is the running back, along with Kyrie Tate at tight end, and that rounds up the star lineup for the Red Devils as Mitchell gets a handoff. Big hole up in the middle. A good gain of yards for 7 out to the 40-yard line of London. And over on the defensive end, brand new player to London, Frank Axmall, number 66. I've been told that he likes to hang an axe in the locker room for added motivation for this defensive front. Definitely an interesting piece of information that we got from our stats team today. As Lee throws to the outside, that'll be a first down out to McCormick.
A little interesting there that they had at least enough presence of mind not to run into each other. They were really close to each other there.
Could have been a miscommunication on the routes, is what I would guess. To wrap out this other defensive line here, Eyal Rushanek and Byron Cowart are in the defensive line. Donnie Mack at corner. Slyn Shady, we already mentioned him at inside linebacker. As Nathan Lee throws and it's picked off. London with the interception on the opening drive, and it will be going back the other way. Great pick by number 44 out there. That's Jeffrey Daggs from his free safety spot.
We're going to see here this perfect coverage here. Just perfect man-to-man, stuck to his man perfectly, kept a step ahead of him, and picked it off.
In his back pocket the whole time. Great read, as now London will take over on offense. And we've got Michael Martin at quarterback. First and 10 from the 26. Offset I formation, 2 wideouts. And off to the halfback. Spencer Mayer out to the 29-yard line. And that's a gain of 3 yards.
It's going to be interesting to see how London plays on offense, since they only have 4 contracted players on offense, to my understanding.
That is correct, and it's Spencer Meyer. I apologize for the mispronunciation on that. Hand off again to Meyer, this time going nowhere. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 7. So 8 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here. 3 wideouts for London on a 3rd and long. Obvious passing situation. To throw, deep pass, tipped away. Trying to see who Martin was looking for on that play. Might have been one of the backup wide receivers.
He was hit as he...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He was hit as he threw, so I don't think he meant to throw it where he did.
That's true. As Michael Pont comes out, he will go ahead and punt the ball away for the first time for London. High snap. Ball is away. Fielded at about the 33. He'll get out to the 35-yard line, and that is where Indy will take over for their second possession. We'll see if they can do a little bit better this time around. Nathan Lee throwing the pick on the very end of that drive, unfortunately for them. So 1st and 10 here from the 35. Indy, 2 backs in the backfield, 2 wideouts to the bottom of the screen. Handoff, plenty of room. And they're going to give him the first down. Great run by Matthew Mitchell up the middle.
It's interesting to see that the running game's actually working for both of these teams early on in this game. The offensive line just gave him such a huge hole to run through there.
Which is funny considering both these teams, as we mentioned a couple different times already, love to throw the ball, especially Indianapolis. Dan Daly and Eli McCormick both ranking 4th and 5th in receiving yardage in the SFL. Another throw for Nathan Lee. Tipped again. And it's going to be incomplete.
That's kind of why they call the secondary receivers that can't really catch. That's why they play defense. 3 times, right in front of him. Had the right read on the ball, just really couldn't hold on to it. Hot potato.
Strong safety Kane Vasquez, unfortunately for him, unable to pull in the ball as it tips around 3 or 4 different times. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Red Devils as they get another shot here. Just shy of midfield, 3 wide receivers bunched towards the top of the screen, 2 down towards the bottom. Lee to throw, avoids pressure, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Great play, and that's the newcomer, Frank Axmall, in there, making his first sack of his SFL career.
As you see here, he's just giving players the hatchet already. Oh, man.
Offensive line just too slow. Could not get a hand on him as he just blows right past, gets in the backfield, locks him down for a 9-yard loss. So it'll be a 3rd and forever now. Same formation for Nathan Lee as he's under center. He will throw once again. More pressure. Throws it off his back foot over to the right-hand side. Could not make the play. I believe Slim Shady was in there causing some pressure in the backfield.
And you know what? That saved them a completed pass right there. As you would see there at the end of the play, that receiver was wide open, but the pass rush just had the quarterback throw it on his back foot passes. Means a lot less accuracy.
So now we'll get a punt from Indy. Ashley Finch is going to punt the ball away. One of the few star punters we have in the SFL. Good punt and absolutely gets destroyed after fielding it. London will take over at the 26-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. This was not exactly what we were anticipating seeing so far, Levant.
No, I was expecting, you know, 7 right now, really, considering how these teams' offenses generally operate.
I'd have to agree, although another handoff for Mitchell, unable to get a whole lot of yards, although he had a hole up the middle there. Gain of 1, it'll be 2nd and 9. So we get a look at this Indy defense. The Vitzak brothers are going to be at the corners, Michael and Steve. Grant Butler at outside linebacker. Ernest Claiborne and Paul Connolly are your safeties. Planned screen this time for London. And a couple spin moves, get him a few extra yards out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
It was looking a little bit like Sonic out there, just continuing to spin. Now, one issue with those moves, though, is if they hit him at the right time, that ball's coming loose.
Looking into other SFL action going on. Chicago on the board. They're at home in the Thunderdome, 7-0 over the Renegades. There's 6.5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Right here, obviously, we get a 3rd down stop made by Indy, so we're trading blows with both of these defenses. Very, very talented defenses. And it'll be another punt for London.
Looks like they're both suffering the same problems that they had in their past 2 games. Each of these teams coming out really conservative, really slow, and not playing to each other's strengths.
Indy coming after the punt, almost got there. Instead, it'll be returned. Only about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. They'll mark it down at the 32-yard line. We've got 5:08 left to play in the first quarter. We'll see what Nathan Lee can pull out of his hat this time around. As Levant mentioned, they've been focusing a lot on the run game so far. Not exactly their forte. As we mentioned, they're number 1 and 2 receivers, 4th and 5th in the league in receiving yards. Lee under center, he will pass. Quick throw over to the outside, that's caught. It's going to be a gain of 3.
One of the keys for Indianapolis is to see how they handle the London front 7, especially now that they've bolstered it with a switch in personnel, getting Axmal instead of and switching out a linebacker for him.
So we're going to have 2 backs in the backfield now. 2 wideouts. Lee is under center again, 2nd and 7. Lee will pass, deep pass over the middle, tipped, and it is incomplete. Great coverage out there by the London secondary and linebackers to get a look at Slyn Shady.
Starting to feel like for there to be a breakthrough for one of these teams, they're going to need one of these defensive plays to actually or an interception.
So faced with a 3rd and long once again, we'll see what Indy wants to do. They're going to pass, plenty of time. A check down over to the left. That's not going to get them anything. In fact, they'll lose them 3 yards. And it'll be 4th and 10. Indy will have to punt once again on that catch by Daly.
What happened there is a miscommunication on timing routes here. He threw it at the end of the route. Receiver didn't know what else there was to do. Threw it behind him. There, it's just meant to be a loss there, unfortunately.
Finch to punt once again. London coming after it. Almost gets there. The return up to the 27-yard line. London will take over with about 4 minutes left to go. And we'll pause for a brief advertisement from our broadcast team.
Want to do what I do? Contact me in the DM on Discord to find out how you can get involved with streaming live games, calling games, or breaking them down on the air with our broadcast team. Or help make our production even better by joining our new live stats team, helping our broadcasters shine brighter. We are #Loading Legends in the SFL.
And we are #Loading Legends here as Spencer Meyer gets a couple yards on 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and 8 now. Clock ticking away in this first quarter of action. Under center, handoff. Going to be to Meyer once again. And again, we're focusing very heavily on the run game. Only 10 yards on 6 carries, though.
I think both teams are just respecting each other's defenses.
Get a look at the scoreboard here in Indy in the 9th circle. Martin's going to throw, has time, hit as he's thrown, and it's going to be marked an incomplete pass. On 3rd down, that ends up being 4th and 5. London's going to have to punt once again. So here we go again for London, lining up to punt. Indy coming after it once again. Couldn't quite get there. Punt is fielded just shy of the 30-yard line. They'll cross the 30-yard line. Out to the 33. And that is where Indy will take over again. Under center is Lee. 3 wideouts. Offset I formation. Lee will pass. Another deep pass and another interception. Once again, that's the free safety Dags with his 2nd pick of the game.
Here we see a little bit of a zone read there. If that ball was just thrown a little higher, a little more loft, that wouldn't have happened. But what I will say is that was a perfect zone read there by the safety.
And as we switch sides of the field once again, switch possessions, Queen City has taken a 7-0 lead on Atlanta in the first quarter there in the Hive. 1st and 10 now for Martin. He's under center. We'll hand off again to Meyer. Meyer gets about a couple. Well, we thought this might be a shootout, Levant, but instead it turns into a defensive struggle with 2 turnovers coming from Indianapolis already.
Well, these teams are very evenly matched.
Martin's going to be sacked in the backfield. Indy finally gets to him. It was that defensive line that got in there. It was a short loss, but still a sack on the stat sheet. And it'll bring up another 3rd and long.
London's both 8th on offense and defense, and Indianapolis is 10th in both. So they're very close to each other.
And now it's a 3rd and 10. 3 wideouts for Martin, forced to pass, almost picked off. Instead, it's tipped away.
I would almost reckon to bet that a defensive touchdown will be what opens the scoring in this one.
As we get a look at Paul Blake back there, getting ready to return yet another punt. And he goes absolutely nowhere. Fortunately for him, fielded that punt. And he gets mauled at the 16-yard line. It's another 1st and 10. And we'll see if somebody can get a first down. What do you think, Levant?
Well, as we see here, like, how many first downs have we had so far? I would like to say there's only been one all game?
I think so, yes.
So, maybe one more coming up, hopefully.
I hope so. Although, defensive football is always fun to watch as we get a handoff to Mitchell. Mitchell lowers the shoulder, able to get a couple more yards out of it. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Almost looking like Atlanta out there, just swarming on the ball carrier. Anywhere anyone is, London is there to see them. London is there to find them.
Let's get a look at Jeffrey Daggs. 2 interceptions already today, just in the first quarter. Offset I formation, 3 wideouts for Lee. He's going to pass. Has time. Deep pass over to the right-hand side. And that's caught wide open, man. Down the sidelines. Will London catch him? And they will not. Touchdown, Eli McCormick.
Well, there goes my defensive touchdown bet all out the window. Forget that. Well, what we did see here, what we will be seeing here real soon, is the same route that was almost busted early. Just adjusted to be on the outside. No one covering him. Wide open. There we go. Turn the Jets on, McCormick. Shoo.
It's a great looking pass play. His 6th touchdown of the year. And Indy strikes first here. We'll see if they can kick the extra point through.
It's funny how the chat was saying I was being put to sleep by it. I'm wide awake now. I was never asleep. I was always awake.
Kick is up and through. Yeah, the commissioner was poking fun at you a little bit there.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm here. I've been here. It's just, you know.
Trying to stay warm here in this 30-degree weather.
Hey, at least it's not the snow from last week. That was cool.
Gosh. Yes, true story. 58 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Indianapolis strikes first, 7-0 lead as they kick off to the Knights. We'll see what they can do here. Their offense has been lulled to sleep here as Daggs brings it out to the 28-yard line for a decent return.
It's almost as if London's philosophy right now is spin to win. That's the only evasion move I've seen. Spins. I'm getting dizzy.
Definitely agree with that. First and 10 here for Martin and company. Martin's going to change things at the line of scrimmage. Hand off to Meyer. Meyer lowering his shoulder, makes it out to the 33-yard line. Good gain of 5 on first down.
Maybe they're setting up the running game so they can run some RPOs, you know? Maybe that's what London's trying to do here.
Well, they do run a good passing attack. Not a whole lot of receiving yards to Meyer's credit, but we'll see if maybe that changes here. Maybe that's the game plan coming in against Indianapolis. Hand off again to Meyer. He goes nowhere that time. Tackle at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 5, and that'll probably be the last game of the first quarter.
I guess what I will say here is most teams in the SFL this season have double-digit turnovers.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Indianapolis with a 7-0 lead here over London. And to take a look at other SFL action, Chicago extending their lead. 14-0 at the end of the first over the OKC Renegades. Martin to pass again. Deep pass, has a man, caught for a first down. Godspeed made a pretty impressive catch there, Levant.
Yes, but let's see here what Martin does with this pass, too. He throws it only where his receiver can get it. And like I said earlier, see, where you have enough loft, you'll get it over the defender.
And Godspeed had beat his cover man right off the line. Had maybe a yard on him, and that was just a perfect window to throw the ball right there to him. Hand off to Meyer, who has some room up the middle of the field. And they'll mark him just shy of the first down. That's a 9-yard gain on first down.
Is this one of those times where both lines pinch, knowing when the pinch happens? As we see here today, the offensive line just won their struggle there. Gave him just enough room to go.
So instead of 2nd and long, 2nd and 1 now. Unfamiliar territory here for the London Knights, as they've gotten a first down and now have gotten 2 first downs. Meyer with plenty of room up the middle, out to the 21-yard line of Indy. Offensive line was looking good on that play. Now 2 wide receivers, tight end, offset eye, another handoff to Meyer. Meyer's going to get thumped right there, though. Great tackle by Paul Connolly coming up from his strong safety spot.
Indy's going to have to adjust to the fact that London's actually deciding to run the ball in this game.
The Corsairs have taken a 14-0 lead over the Atlanta Swarm there in the Hive. Minute 28 left to go in the first quarter. Martin now with 2nd and 8. Has time. Over the middle, and that is caught for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Knights.
London's getting a little momentum going. Maybe the touchdown by Indianapolis has woken them up a bit.
Giacomo Jones with his first catch of the game. And you're right, London is gaining a lot of momentum. The run game kind of helping with that, able to get to these wide receivers that Martin loves to throw to. Pitch play over to Meyer. Meyer avoids 1 tackler, does not get past the 2nd, as he gets stumped behind the line of scrimmage, loss of 1. Tackle made by Paul Blake.
Like one of those times I like to call those frustration hits. They just lined him up, squared him up. Come here, please come here. And he did. It got lit up.
He was lit up like a Christmas tree. Handoff again to Meyer, and does not make it past the line of scrimmage again. Another tackle by Colt, as he's got 5 tackles, 2 of them for a loss.
That's what they're looking for now. They're just like, well, if he's going to run the ball, all right, we're going to make him not want to anymore. Come here.
Blake Colt, the non-contract linebacker, making a name for himself today, as it's now 3rd and goal from the 10 for the Knights. Martin to throw again, over to the right-hand side, wide open, touchdown, London.
I mean, they got a little too watchful for the run. They thought they were going to go into something again. Left a wide open gap in the zone there. And I think that zone was a read just to make sure that nobody would, the sides, there was not going to be a pass to the flats. They forget in the red zone, there are things like corner post routes, post routes, out routes. Yeah, you can't leave those sorts of things open.
No, sir, especially, and that, again, that was a non-contract wide receiver, Tony Adamson, with his first catch, and a touchdown catch to boot, as Zach Daggs go ahead and kicks the extra points. And we got a tie ball game here in Indy, 7-7 now, with 7:38 left to go in the first half.
It's like I said last week, just because someone's a roll, mean you have to let them run. They will make plays. You can't just do that.
Daggs to kick off. Indy fields it at about the 5-yard line, brings it up. Has plenty of room, spin move again, and he gets stumped right at the 31-yard line. Great return, though, by Paul Blake.
Let's just be happy that it didn't pop out.
I'm waiting for a kickoff return. You know, I can't think of a time where I called a game and there was a kickoff return for a touchdown. I'm ready for one. I want to see it. It's now a 14-7 ball game in the Thunderdome. OKC narrowing the gap. Handoff. Goes nowhere. Slim Shady in there on the stop.
But will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Oh, yes, sir. That was a bone-crunching tackle. That didn't look good from up here. Mitchell thought he might have had a hole. Fortunately, for him, it closed pretty quickly.
There goes those shifts.
7 minutes to go, 2nd and 10. Lee to pass. Has a man, diving catch, and he's got it. Out across midfield to the 48. Great catch out there by McCormick.
Here we see Nathan Lee doing his best impression of London here, finding gaps in the zone.
Jeffrey Daggs out there on the stop. Was looking for his 3rd pick of the ball game, unfortunately for him. A little bit behind there as McCormick makes his 2nd big catch of the afternoon. Handoff this time to Mitchell, who has plenty of room. An 8-yard gain out to the 40-yard line. Good looking play there for the Red Devils.
That was a blitz just prepared for the pass rush there. Except sometimes if you blitz too heavily and you rush too many, you open up lanes for the running back to get through.
I think that's
like
exactly what happened. Called the run play at the most opportune time. Ran right past all the blitzers as Lee is going to throw again. Trying to find McCormick. Unfortunately for them, it falls incomplete. Good defense out there on the corners.
Seems like the secondary is keeping their one step ahead. They always preach, keep yourself a step ahead. Don't give them any room to breathe. And they're choked out there.
The exception of a couple big plays, this secondary has played well. Mickelson with a good stop out there. Lee is going to pass, has plenty of time. McCormick beat his man down the sideline, and he's got it. Touchdown once again.
And I just cursed them, didn't I? That's the commentator's curse, because what we see McCormick now giving them the seasoning of like, oh, you want to talk about the secondary? You forget who I am. Do you know who I am? I've been receiving. All right, Levant, I got you. Here we go. All right. Get off me.
2nd touchdown catch of the game. Looked almost like he was going to stumble his way into the end zone, but managed to keep his footing for a deep pass for the score.
That was a commentator's curse, and I don't feel good about that one.
I don't think Liam Crowder and company appreciate that either. Kick is up and good for the Red Devils. They have now taken another 7-point lead here at home in the 9th circle. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. .553 left to go in the first half.
I almost want to say like the first quarter of play was kind of like the first couple rounds in a boxing match. You kind of want to feel your opponent out for a little bit, adjust your game plans to what you're seeing, and now we're starting to see the game open up a bit.
You know, I was going to make that same analogy, Levant. Great minds think alike. But yeah, it very much felt that way, that these two defenses feeling each other out, two offenses trying to figure out what they could do to best the other. So we'll see if London can answer that deep pass by Indy. Martin shuffles himself in the pocket, has a man for a first down, out to the 37-yard line. Great play.
He didn't get any sort of happy feet right there. He stayed poised, knew he had at least a couple seconds left so that he can check down, and a perfect check down pass to Jones there.
Giacomo Jones with another big catch. Liam Crowder sounds like he might file a grievance to the league office on the safety of the stadium here in the 9th circle. Martin to pass, sidearms it over the middle, that's caught. And that's our non-contract wide receiver that caught the touchdown pass a little bit earlier in the game, Adamson. just cut across the field there.
In the stadium's defense, I feel like that pyro's controlled, not like the ultras that exist in Europe setting up pyrotechnics that shouldn't occur.
Oh, that's true. There are plenty of soccer matches where rowdy fans will throw off fireworks and pyrotechnics and everything. Another sidearm pass. Oh, and that's intercepted. What a great play. Shoestring interception made by, I believe that was one of the Vitak brothers. Yeah, Michael Vitak.
Here's the power of opportunity. He saw an opportunity and he seized it.
Most of the time, those don't happen. You know, if they get tipped, they fall down to the ground, but a big old shoestring catch swings the momentum back to Indy. We'll see if they can score here on this drive.
Well, in the Sioux Falls game, a particular someone did the same thing. So, you know, it happens.
And Indy needed a defensive play as Mitchell, plenty of blocking downfield, couldn't quite make it to that second level. Gets out to the 35-yard line, a good gain of 7.
Well, the momentum seems to be shifting the Red Devils' way.
A turnover will do that, defensive turnover, as we get a look at Nathan Lee's numbers so far. Good-looking numbers here in the first half as the clock ticks closer to 4 minutes in the first half. Another catch, and that's McCormick once again. He's just burning that defense out there now.
Well, what we'll see here is a couple route progression trees changed for Indianapolis. Now that you see that they're going closer to the sticks, they know what zones they're looking for, and you know if a receiver like McCormick, you know he's going to make those plays.
It has been the Eli McCormick show so far. He's been catching a ton of balls thrown by Nathan Lee today. Another first down as they get closer to the red zone. Knocking on the door of the 28, free play. Nathan Lee to throw, tips, and incomplete.
I ever see a bout of indisciplined play there. Somebody was a little rowdy on the line.
Looking for the running back, Frank Castle, on that free play. But nonetheless, it'll be a 5-yard penalty for the Red Devils, and they will move closer to scoring position. Let's get a look at Eli McCormick's numbers. Just absolutely bananas numbers today. 171 yards on 6 catches, 2 touchdowns. Lee under center, short drop, quick throw over to the left-hand side, and that's caught. That's McCormick's counterpart, Daly, with another catch.
Let's not forget Daly on the other side. I think London has just started to, and they got punished for it there.
Dan Daly moving them into the red zone at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis. 3:40 and counting left in the first half. We'll see what Lee wants to do here. Probably another pass. It's been cutting apart this secondary so far. Will be another pass. Another quick throw. McCormick's got it. They'll mark him out of bounds, though. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
But I think London's going to start switching to the cover 2 just to cover the flats there.
They've definitely been taking advantage of Nicholson, the non-contract corner on the other side of the field, who happens to be covering McCormick. Another pass for Lee. Quick pass. Got a man in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Dan Daly.
I keep forgetting that this is really the Daily Show here. We'll see this real soon. If the replay will show up, thank you. What we see here is just an absolute annihilation by Daly. Look how many steps he has in front of the corner. Like, where are you at, bro? You behind me? How far? Woo! Get out of here.
Donnie Mack got absolutely roasted on that play. Daly came out with a vengeance. Got into the end zone, no problem on that play.
He came out blazing like an inferno out there. Just picked up just turned on the afterburners and let's go.
Extra point is up and good. 21-7 now here in Indianapolis. And we'll pause for a social media advertisement.
Follow the SFL on Twitter at SimulationFL, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. You're already here, right? Might as well stay tuned. Get league updates on your phone while browsing the internet, and make sure you never miss a live broadcast. Thank you for supporting the SFL.
And London fields it at about the 10. Dags will bring it up to the 30-yard line. As we check in over in Chicago, now a tie ball game, 14-14, between the Renegades and the Wildcats there in the second quarter.
London has been gaining some tempo on offense outside of a couple turnovers, but let's see if that sort of offense continues to work with the amount of time they have left in this half.
Was a bit of a freak turnover that time around. As Martin will pass again, deep pass, steps up in the pocket, finds a man. That's Godspeed over on the left-hand side. Good throw by Michael Martin.
He was throwing a little on his front foot there, but let's look at Godspeed here. Look how he's just remains on his feet there, knowing where he is, knowing where everyone else is, keeping himself in bounds.
And that stops the clock momentarily so that London could get reset. Clock is going to run now with Martin under center, 2 backs in the backfield, 3 wideouts. 4 down linemen for the Red Devils. Delayed handoff to Meyer. Meyer gets away with a spin move out to the 48-yard line, 2nd and 5.
And he's just giving them the spin cycle now. It's like, whoop.
It's definitely a popular move of his. We've seen it plenty of times already in just the first half alone. 2nd and 5 as we creep closer to the 2-minute warning. Offset I formation, Martin to throw. Over to the right-hand side, and that's caught. Giacomo Jones with a diving catch out to the 47-yard line. It'll be just shy of the first down.
Little unfortunate loss of footing there. Maybe the ball was a little lower than he wanted. Because they could have gotten the first down if he stayed up.
3rd and 1. This will probably be the last play before the 2-minute warning. We'll see if they want to give it to Meyer and have him bully his way through the line. They will, and he does get the first down yardage and more. Out to the 42-yard line of Indianapolis. Good play.
There's some wonderful line play so far for London in the running game. Anytime they wanted Meyer to get any sort of yardage, they were there to help him out.
Indianapolis with a 14-point lead as we hit that 2-minute warning here in the Circle City. London with the ball driving. We'll see if they can put some points on the board before the half. Michael Martin with a fresh set of downs. He's going to change some things up. Secondary shifting. Short drop. Martin with time. Checks it down. I believe that's his fullback, and he gets out to about the 39-yard line, gain of 3.
But they still have all 3 timeouts, so plays like that, as long as they're going forward, it's all right. You would like to stop the clock naturally, but you still have some ways to stop the clock.
John Smith with the catch, 3-yard gain. Minute 30 left to go here in the half. London under center. Martin will hand it off to Meyer, who goes nowhere. Indy defense was all over that on that play.
Not only that, not only have they started reading the runs better, I don't agree with a run in this sort of situation.
2-minute offense, you'd expect them to kind of just have a little more urgency, as Martin's going to throw this time over the middle of the field, and that was an easy pick that was dropped by Indy.
Now, usually I say maybe if he had a little more air, a little less air. No, I think he just literally lost Houston in coverage. He, like, threw it right on him. It just bounced off him. It's like, do you forget where I was? I know the uniforms are a little confusing, but, you know, just don't throw it right at the darker colors.
I would agree with you there. Incomplete pass. Stops the clock at 1:01. This is going to be a lengthy field goal here for London. Zach Daggs, the contract kicker. We'll see what he can do here. Probably going to be a 44-yard field goal. Oh, 54-yard field goal. Kick is up and away, and it is short. No good.
Looks reminiscent to the last week, where it was just right off the... Oh, not even touching the upright this time, but it looked very similar to that one last week. Unfortunately.
It was just shy of getting it through. Maybe a couple more yards and he would have had it. So no points for the Knights as they give the ball back to the Red Devils. Nathan Lee will throw again. Has his man, and he gets out of bounds. That's Dan Daly with another catch.
Of course, they're starting to see that the weaknesses for London are the two corners, so they're starting to go to their favorite targets. And this could get real bad real fast if London doesn't find a way to stop these receivers.
3 wideouts. Mitchell in the backfield for Lee, who's under center, barking orders at the line of scrimmage. Takes a short drop, tries to evade the pressure, does. Over the middle, that's caught. Daly across the first down marker, down to the 37-yard line. They'll go no huddle here. Another pass for Lee, has time, checks it down to his halfback Mitchell, who gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 34 seconds left to go. Get a look over in the SFL. 21-14 is now the score in Chicago just before the half. And Queen City with a 7-point lead now as Atlanta finally gets on the board with less than 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Offset I formation, 2 wide receivers for Lee. They'll pass once again, deep pass in the middle, that's caught. Down at the 10-yard line, first and goal, Eli McCormick, as Indy burns a timeout.
Look at this laser precision here. Look at this. Just like a surgeon. Perfect.
Throws it only where his receiver can get it. Fantastic play, and it looks like Atlanta just put another touchdown on the board. They are now tied 14-14 with 1:42 left to go in the first half over in Atlanta. Lee will pass over the middle of the field, tipped, and it'll fall incomplete. Needed a little bit more loft on that one, I think.
There are just too many things going on there. You have a whole bunch of different jerseys there. I would have just... honestly, I've just waited for the play to develop a little more.
Indy trying to go up by 3 touchdowns going into the half. London desperately trying to get a stop. 25 seconds left to go. Lee takes the snap, looks, has a man, and it's almost picked off. That was the strong safety that time. Kane Vasquez, he was looking for his first pick of the ball game.
Well, let's also give it up to the mass coverage there. They were making shifts on the line. The linebackers were all moving around. You didn't really know what was coming, forcing him to make a quick decision.
I certainly thought he had a man open in the back of the end zone, and then here comes Vasquez making the play. Lee, good protection. Looks like he had Mitchell out there, but it gets swatted down by Daggs. That'll be 4th and goal, and a good stop by the London defense.
I know that they're going to the flats, like I said earlier. They made a cover 2 or cover 3 call there, and just had the right personnel in the right spot to stop that time.
It's now 28-14 in the Thunderdome. 14-point advantage for the hometown Wildcats with 9 seconds left to go in the half. Meanwhile, we've got Indy setting up for It appears to be a 27 or 28 yarder. Kick is up and away, and it is good. A 27-yard field goal for the Red Devils extends their lead to 17. And with 15 seconds left to go, I don't think the Knights are going to try to do anything here, as Vinček puts 3 points on the board for the Red Devils.
Not even a Hail Mary attempt?
We'll see what happens. They do have all 3 timeouts. I've seen a Hail Mary work once before. As we get down to the 29-yard line, 11 seconds left to go in the half.
You know, looking at the uniforms down there, sometimes it looks a little where it's just white versus burgundy.
That's true. Both of them have their reds kind of implemented, into the uniform concepts. There'll be a handoff from Michael Martin, though, and Meyer will make it out to the 35-yard line. We'll see if London wants to burn a timeout. They will. And now I think it'll be Hail Mary time.
I don't know about that run there unless they were like, well, let's try to push it forward so that our Hail Mary ends up in the end zone. But still, you could have wasted way too much time if it didn't work out. Or if the run broke free.
My thinking was that they might catch them off guard with a run play, as opposed to, you know, trying to chuck the ball deep down the field. Well, it doesn't look like Martin's coming out in a Hail Mary formation either, so we might just see another run by Meyer that'll kill the clock and end the half, and we do. Meyer will get a few more yards, and that'll be the end of the half here from Indianapolis. The Red Devils up by 17 as we go into the halftime show. Feel free to check out the first half stats and highlights, as we'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Once again, my name is Eric Vinson alongside Levant Mercer here in the Circle City, Indianapolis, Indiana, where the hometown Red Devils had opened up a 17-point lead at the end of the first half. Levant, what are you looking for as a response from the Knights coming out of the second half here?
Well, they've had most of the possession, actually, looking at the stats during the halftime show. So it becomes a matter of time management where they've had the ball most of the game, and that's fine and all, but it's what you do with your time. And they'll run out of time if they just continue to hold on to it and do nothing with it.
Valid points there. We'll see what they want to do here. They've been very steady with the run game here. Not a whole lot of passing from this London team. As we get another handoff to Spencer Meyer, and he goes nowhere. It gets out to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
There's some halftime adjustments there, and especially since Indianapolis knows about their time control. Because they control the score, not necessarily the time.
Quick strikes have been the recipe for the Red Devils on their offensive ends. 2nd and 10, handoff to Meyer again. Good blocking by the offensive line. Meyer gets wrapped up at about the 38-yard line.
For London, most of their running through the guards have been successful. When they decide to go around the tackles, it starts to break down more.
And Atlanta starting to take control in the Hive. They've scored 21 unanswered as they've taken a 7-point lead. And there goes Spencer Meyer down the left-hand side. Does he have enough gas to make it past the linebacker? He does not. He'll get dragged down at the 12-yard line. A great run by the running back for the Knights.
And remember that thing about the commentator's curse? Look at where this run starts out of. It's a stretch play. Stretch plays go off the tackle. And you know what's going to happen here. Turn on the jets, because this dragon is going.
Blake Colt once again with another stop, the non-contract linebacker. He was the only one that was within sniffing distance of Spencer Meyer. Great run by the halfback as he makes it out into the SFL red zone. 1st and 10 from the 12. Martin to throw, has time, he'll check it down and only get about a yard. I believe was his fullback he checked it down to there, Ballmer.
Speaking about gas, maybe this whole control the ball strategy is what they're going for. Tire out Indianapolis and smack them up in the second half. Let's hope.
2nd and 9 here for the Knights. Offset I formation. Martin to throw again. Has a good pocket. Checks it down over the middle of the field. He'll get maybe a couple yards out to the 9-yard line. 3rd and 7 upcoming.
As a note to the last thing I say, it's just, you know, I said there, it's just a closer game is funny to watch.
We just want a good game here. 24-7 is the score. London knocking on the door. 3rd and 7. Martin to throw again. This time he'll throw it in the back of the end zone and it's picked off. And that's another interception by Michael Vitak.
Well, what we see here is that, like I've said, they've kept a step ahead of the receivers all game, and he just threw it where the receiver wasn't.
Just an unfortunate decision by Martin as he throws the pick. Vitak was in perfect position. There was no reason to throw that ball. As Nathan Lee gets another opportunity as he zings it over the middle of the field. That's another catch. Dan Daly out to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Red Devils.
Seems like they're starting to mix some passes in the middle now. They went to the sticks earlier in the game, but as we see here, now they're opening the slants. They're opening the mid routes, trying to catch the London Knights off guard, which they have there. You'll see up top that one of the members of the secondary was covering the flat there. So an adjustment to an adjustment.
Good eye there by our analyst. Mighty RX in the chat says, slap that like button. He's absolutely right. 32 people watching. Only 11 people have liked it so far. As a shifty move by, I believe, one of his backup tight ends. That is out to the 44-yard line. Good play by the Red Devils.
They're going to need to start picking up these first downs if they want to get in control of the time and just put their boot through the throat of London and make sure they cannot come back.
Lewis Risk was actually one of his backup wide receivers. Lee to throw again. Toe drag swag over on the left-hand side. That's caught by Daly. It'll be a gain of 7.
Now, it's interesting to see how great these receivers are. They kept themselves in bounds almost every time it's thrown there. We've been seeing a lot of toe drag swag today.
A lot of different out routes, lulling the defense to sleep, and then takes that big shot down the field. McCormick's had 2 of those today, both for touchdowns. As they now sneak into opponent's territory, Mitchell with a spin move. I thought he was actually going to break that. Makes it out to the 40-yard line of London before he's dragged down on the play.
One of those RPOs here. This time they went with the run of option here, and they... Look at this. Put the spin cycle on.
Nifty little run there. London defense finally able to bring him down. Byron Cowart, the defensive end, was able to chase him down. Another throw for Lee, tipped away, incomplete. Vasquez in there on the coverage.
There's been a few good points to say about London when it comes to the defense, is that when it comes to plays of opportunity like that one, they're in the right spots to make it when they are there.
Get a look at Jeffrey Daggs going back out to his free safety spot. He's had 2 picks this game. 2 picks on the other side of the equation for the Red Devils. For Michael Vitak. Hand off to Mitchell. He goes nowhere. Guess who? Slim Shady in there to wrap him up. Loss of 1.
There was 2 plays made there. You see what that lineman did? Just absolutely smashed the guard, letting Slim Shady come right in.
Definitely a good-looking play on the defensive end for London. 3 wideouts towards the top of the screen. Lee's going to escape pressure, and he throws it out to the flat. Risk makes a catch, but it's not going to be enough for a first down.
All kinds of evasion there. I will have to say that this quarterback's been very elusive all day, and even his receiver avoiding a very hard hit by just catching it the way he did.
As we get a look at other SFL action, Atlanta extends their lead, now 24 unanswered points, as they take a 10-point lead over the Corsairs. Good-looking punt there by the Red Devils, as Ashley Finch pins them inside the 10-yard line at the 9. We'll see what Michael Martin can do with that as he trots out onto the field.
I see the real science of football there. Field position, time control, time management, different looks. I'm liking it so far.
It certainly helps having a contract punter able to pin them deep inside the 10 like he has done here. And that's a great play by the defensive end. No, excuse me, it was the free safety. I thought he's so big and he came in so fast I thought it was the defensive end. That's actually Blake coming in from his free safety spot.
You know, when they're pinned deep here, do you know definitely they're going to try to run? You don't want to risk a safety, so they've been looking for it now. Look at this. There's almost 10 in the box.
Indy's eyeballing it right now. They might be coming with a blitz, and they do. Quick handoff. Decent chunk of yardage from Meyer. Makes it out to the 15-yard line. Gain of about 6 or 7. Actually, they'll give him 9 on that play. Out to the 15 as we creep inside of 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Third down and 4. Definitely manageable for Martin. Has a man and a nifty one-handed grab out there on the right-hand side. Great catch for a first down, and that's Adamson once again.
Now, this is what Martin really needs to be doing. Now, he's adjusted to his receivers. You see? Look at the grab, though. Let's not forget that. But he put it where he could make that play.
And he knew that Adamson would go out and make that play. Nifty little one-handed grab for the non-contractor. London digging themselves out of danger out to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10. Martin with a deep drop, steps up in the pocket, throws it out there. Indy almost picks it off again. Blake out there with the opportunity.
Now, a few times that he has been pressured here, as you will see what Blake has done. Wonderful plays here by Indy to just know where to react, where to attack the ball. And once again, even though he kept a step behind the play, he was ahead of the play still.
Steve Vitak, the other corner, able to swat the ball over to his free safety. Blake not able to complete the play. 2nd and 10 now. Good defense from the Red Devils. Martin's going to hand it off to Meyer. Looking for some room. Makes it out to the 31-yard line. Good gain of 4.
So, what I meant to say by that before is even though he was not in front of the receiver, he was still ahead of the play. That's correct.
Good clarification there. Chicago with a 21-point lead over the Renegades at home, 35-14. In the SFL Network, as London completes another long pass. And what is up with Tony Adamson today? 4 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. This is even one of his hot receivers.
It's like I've been saying the past couple weeks, is that just because someone doesn't have the long does not mean just to ignore them. If they're hot, they're hot. And you have to start sticking them at this point.
3 wideouts. Martin's going to throw again. Has a man wide open, and that is Godspeed. One of the 2 contracted wide receivers. He's had a couple of catches today, and he makes it out to the 41-yard line. Gain of 7.
And the good thing that Adamson is also doing as a role player is now he's opening up both Godspeed and Joachim Jones, which we should see more of soon.
Both of the star wide receivers have been noticeably absent in the passing game. Adamson has been getting all the grabs, as it's now 2nd and 3 from the 41. Handoff to Meyer. Finds a space. Makes it out to the 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for London.
I've got to say, he's been showing tremendous vision all day. He knows where the cutback lanes are, where the holes are. He's been having a heck of a game.
He's been doing a great job as they're creeping closer to the red zone. Remember, London unfortunately threw a pick towards the end of the half that cut short any opportunity for points, as Meyer only makes it up to the line of scrimmage on that play.
Might want to start baiting out the blitz by not necessarily play action, but by like starting with shorter passes and then bring it back to run.
Similar to what the Red Devils have been doing all game with the out routes and then baiting them into creeping up, beating them with the deep pass for a big play. Meyer, again, only makes it up to about the line of scrimmage. That Indy defense was ready for it there. He's had 127 yards on 28 carries today. Good numbers for Spencer Meyer.
That's true, but you can't be using it too much. And I think on this drive, they've been going to the one trick they've had. A little too much.
Martin takes a deep drop over to the right-hand side. Had a man, and it's dropped. That was Adamson, and he could not complete the big play there.
Well, I guess I'll have to say it. That is one of the negatives of a non-contract player, is they have a tendency to make blunders. And, unfortunately, we've seen one there.
So London will be forced to punt. Godspeed 33 calling it in the chat. They've been killing the clock, which is hurting their chances of coming back in this game, especially when they have to punt here and play field position. Indy's going to let it go. London's going to down it right at the 4-yard line. Good punt by the Knights.
I will have to say that as what I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the second half, is if you hold the ball for a long time and do nothing with it, what are you really doing?
Just killing the clock. And especially if you're down by 17, You're going to have to make a move at some point in time or another. London looking for the run here. Mitchell just blows by all of them. Makes it into the second and third level of the defense. Daggs finally brings him down at the 17-yard line.
You know how you get out of situations like this? A good running game. And look at this right here. He saves the day. Now you have some space.
Matthew Mitchell with a big first down run out to the 17-yard line, digs them out of the hole. 4 wideouts now for Nathan Lee. Mitchell still in the backfield. Handoff again to Mitchell, lowers his shoulder, takes out a defender. That was a great play by the running back there.
Just took him out of commission there and made a sail on him.
And it looks like over in Chicago, Oklahoma City put up a safety on the board. 35-16 is now the score over in the Thunderdome. Another handoff for Mitchell, plenty of blocking, and they'll give him the first down yardage as the third quarter will come to a close on that run. 24-7 is still our score here in Indianapolis. The hometown Red Devils are driving once again. And now we flip sides of the field. Get a look at Eli McCormick, who's had tons of receiving yardage today. Under center is Lee. He'll hand it off to Mitchell. Mitchell squirts free of that first defender, makes it out to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4.
It's just one of those anything you can do, I can do better sorts of drives. So like, oh, you want to run the ball? All right, here we go.
So
thanks for killing the clock, London.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying.
Exactly. Indianapolis trying to do a little bit of that on this drive. Slim Shady knocks down the ball as he was looking for Eli McCormick on that play.
And these are some of the plays that London needs to make. They need to control the tempo on defense. They need to just stop the bleeding so they can get the ball back.
I would argue they need to make a stop right here. Otherwise, the ball game might be in danger of being over. 3 wideouts bunched towards the top of your screen. Lee going to take a short drop, and that's complete for first down yardage.
Oh, it looked like the defense was a little lost there. It was like, oh, here's where they're going to go deep. Oh, wait, no, they dunked it. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. Kyrie Tate. We have a Kyrie Tate sighting. The star tight end for Indianapolis. He makes a catch, and a big one at that. Extends the drive for Indy as Lee will throw it off to the right-hand side, left-hand side, and he makes it out for first down yardage. That's Eli McCormick once again.
With just a little more room, that could have just put the end of the game right there. Just a little more room.
There's a similar play that we saw earlier in the ball game. We thought it might have been confusion with a couple wide receivers on their routes, but I think it's designed that way. That way the extra wide receiver can lay some blocking in front of him for him. Nathan Lee, deep pass, almost picked off. Kane Vasquez out there on coverage looking for, I believe, McCormick once again.
That was the same pass coverage as we, but this time they called it on the right play and stopped the deep ball from coming in, because Indianapolis does like to snipe at times.
From the London 46, just in opponent's territory, Lee beats the blitz, and oh my God, what a catch! Dan Daly's gonna waltz into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Devils.
Let's look at this rendition of Daly. Mossing! Absolutely mossing! 3 defenders. I want to look at it. Here we go. Look at this man.
This was unbelievable.
Get up! Oh, well, it was one, but still got up over him. Where were you at?
The two defenders were short covering the flat. I think that's where you saw those three defenders. But it was one defender in coverage. Just completely makes the catch over him. And Nathan Lee throwing the quick pass to beat the blitz. Just an unbelievable play by the Indy quarterback and receiver duo.
It's like when you play backyard football and you're just like, mossed! That's what Daly did. He just mossed that man.
Amen to that. Let's get an ad from APM Music, our sponsor.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
And you are watching the SFL on YouTube presented by APM Music. What a beautiful theme song we have for this great league. Michael Martin lining up under center. I don't think there's much of anything he can do at this point. Down by 24 as he hands it off to Spencer Meyer. He'll make it out to the line of scrimmage, and that'll be all.
Man, at this point, it has to be a joint effort. If they want to come back, I almost want to believe that they still can. They could. They just have to get a lot of things to go right on every side of the ball.
The game plan so far for London does not coincide with a comeback. They've been very patient and very methodical with their offensive game plan, and they're still handing the ball off to Meyer, hoping to maybe break one through. He's only really had one big run all game, though, Levant.
Yeah, and at this point, Indianapolis knows exactly what it is that they're going to do now. They've been a little too methodical, and London would have to mix it up. And on third down, I don't know what else you can do.
It's now 3rd and 10. Ooh, free play. It's going to be encroachment. They'll actually blow it dead. It'll be a free 5 yards for the Knights. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
That opens up quite a bit of options now.
Definitely better than a 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. Now a 3rd and 5. As Chicago extends their lead once again. 42-16 there in the Thunderdome. 9 minutes, 6 seconds left to go in the ball game. Over here, we've got just about 8 minutes to go as Spencer Meyer finds first down yardage out to the 40-yard line.
So it's one of those, well, it was 3rd and 5, so you would think that call is okay, except let's look at the clock, and it's ticking down.
Like I said, London needs to step on the gas in a hurry if they want to top Indy right now. Martin's going to pass. Design screen to Meyer. Meyer trying to reverse field. Only gets out to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
I don't know, I'm just absolutely blown away by these play calls right now. I mean, I'm not expecting every play to be deep, but at least, you know, throw some medium passes.
Can't really argue with you there as it becomes a 2nd and 10. Just about 7 minutes left to go as they're at the London 40-yard line. Down by 24. Handoff to Meyer, who has some room. Makes it out to the 49-yard line. A good chunk of yards on 2nd down.
All Indianapolis really has to do is just not break. I mean, you know, that's easier said than done because, you know, you have 31 points. You could even allow them a couple. You don't allow them anything. You just want to kill the game. You just want to end it now.
Another handoff to Meyer, who gets first down yardage. He makes it out to the 46-yard line. 6.5 minutes left to go. Tick, 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 tick.
But what I really mean by the bend and not break mentality is let them kill the clock for you. Just don't let them score.
We'll see if London can do it here as Queen City puts a field goal on the board. Finally stops the bleeding over in the Hive as Atlanta still has a 7-point lead over the Corsairs. And oh my God, Paul Blake gets in there and absolutely destroys Spencer Meyer behind the line.
Well, that's what you need to see right there. He has 8 tackles today with 3 for a loss, and that is a great, great play. Maybe they will just stop running the ball at this point. Please.
In your programs, he is listed as a free safety. I don't think that's where he plays. I think it's a linebacker in disguise. Spencer Meyer gets a handoff for about 4 or 5, and he'll make it out to the 42-yard line on that play.
Well, there is such a thing as a run-stopping safety, and you will design plays with him dropping into the space just above the linebackers. That's probably what they're doing with him.
This is very true. Playing with 2 free safeties in their starting lineup here as well. 3rd and 6 for the Knights. Martin's going to hand it off to Meyer again, and he goes nowhere.
Well, I really don't know what to say about that there. That's just really unfortunate play calling by London.
Just a tough call here. And now they're going to punt the ball away. A couple of their non-contract linebackers, Colton Houston, in there on the spot. See if London can maybe pin them back, get a quick 3 and out. Ooh, look at the backspin on that. But he was not able to keep his feet in the field of play. It'll be marked as a touchback.
Oh, man, that looked like a very good golf drive almost. I wanted to see that when I'm out on the green.
Amen to that. Don't you wish your wedge would do that?
Oh, man. Definitely.
I can't get my wedge to look that, even if I tried.
I shoot 90s. I'm terrible.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm a lot like Matt Wilson, the bronze bomber. Most of the time there's beverages involved on my golf courses.
At least it's the golf courses.
Exactly. There's been stories about Matt Wilson. As Frank Axmall gets his tackle in there for a 3-yard gain.
That's the second time we've called his name. I wanted to make more axe puns.
Well, maybe we could do that. Maybe we'll get a London game next week or something. We'll see. 4 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. Indy just bleeding the clock. Another handoff to Mitchell. Oh, did he just slug down that defense? Was that Slim Shady he just threw the turf?
Oh. You know, usually you ask where he is so he can stand back up, but he needs to know where he's at now. Protocol. Him. Now, please.
Good grief. What the heck was that? That was an impressive run. I'm disappointed there wasn't a replay on that. Actually, I think it was Jeffrey Daggs that he threw down to the turf. I just saw Slim Shady on the turf, figured it was him. 3rd down and 5. Mitchell will get a handoff. London saw it coming. It's going to be 4th and 5. Indy will have to punt.
Yeah, but with the amount of time they have left, and if you milk the punt down to like very few seconds left, they'll have the 2-minute, a little over the 2-minute warning. Do you know there's my math is not adding up here. The permutations of weird things that have to happen to make London come back in this game, it's just not computing.
Well, when they kick the ball, it'll be around 2:30, and then the return itself will probably be about 5, 6, maybe 7 seconds, maybe a little bit less than that. So a little bit less than 2:20 or so on the clock, as London actually makes a decent return out of it. Jeffrey Daggs pushes it out to midfield, 2:24 left to go, so that's not too bad.
You would have liked to see a score there. I know it because you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast.
I want to see it. I know
you would have wanted it.
I want to see it.
You want to see it. I want to see it. We all want to see it.
Just give us a kick return. We want to see it. Please. We'll see what Michael Martin wants to do here. 3 wideouts from midfield. Spencer Meyer in the backfield. Martin's going to pass. Deep pass over to the right. That's caught. Adamson with another big catch on his resume today. London going no huddle, trying to get one more play in before the 2-minute warning. They'll get it off. Martin to throw. Under pressure, checks it down. Over to Meyer. Meyer gets about 8 or 9 yards. They'll actually get him just shy of the first down marker. 2nd and inches with 2:02 left to go.
So basically, you want to score here, score 2-point conversion, get the onside kick, get it back, score again, get another 2, and then get it back again.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I don't know.
2nd and inches, 2:02 left to go in the ball game. Martin under center. Probably a handoff here to Meyer. No, instead they're going to pass here. Checks it down over to the right-hand side. Inbounds, first down. And we've hit the 2-minute warning at 1:58 left to go. We'll see what the Knights can do here. Maybe put up some extra points. This is looking like their 2nd blowout in a row, as they were beat by Tallahassee last week. Martin to throw once again, checks it down, and Indy was ready for that the whole way.
And that's what you do not want to see or do. What
Tackle
is that?
inbounds is not what you want to see. Tallahassee beat them 42-13 in the Lions' Den. Pass over the middle. They're going to mark him just shy. How do you do that? He was in the end zone.
What? I want to... oh, man.
Why is there not a replay there? Martin's going to throw. He gets a guy in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, London.
Like, okay, they still get the score, but let's look at the time situation here. It was 1:24 now, right? Okay, well, let me look at this play. Just, what a throw. What a throw. Look at the coverage there. It was real tight, and he just waited for it to clear and then threw it. Great catch, too. Kept himself in bounds.
I'm happy that Giacomo Jones got credit for that touchdown, because that was the first throw he was to. It was Giacomo Jones, and they marked him shy of the end zone somehow.
Now, I know everyone's seen this, because we're all watching it together. Now, let's understand this. He's like at least a yard or 2 in the end zone when he caught it. This isn't like an NFL, well, was he a runner? Was he this, like the Super Bowl? He was there. I don't get it.
I trust the process, and the process says that he was past the line of scrimmage. Past the goal line. Touchdown.
I mean, I know it's a difference of a couple of seconds, but, man.
Ooh, Dags with a little switcheroo there. And Indy actually recovers the onside kick. But London still has 3 timeouts. There is still a slight chance for victory here. A slight chance.
Yeah, but you would have to hope for the spin cycle to actually drop the ball, or like an interception, a pick 6. Something.
That was a fancy looking onside kick, though. I thought he was going the other side, but instead he just whips it back around, goes to the opposite end. Lee's going to hand it. Actually, it's the backups in the game now for Indy. And I don't even think that London is going to burn their timeouts. Actually, it looks like an injury timeout there.
Oh, you never want to see this. Not right before the game's over.
No, not towards the end of the game. Absolutely not. We'll get another look here.
Can't even celebrate. Oh, man. He just lands on his ankle.
So Brian Cannon is your backup quarterback for Indianapolis.
Hey, who knows? They might cough up the ball now that they're putting in, backups.
That's very possible. We don't know. Joe McElroy is your backup running back. He'll get another handoff here. And now London will use a timeout. Minute 14 left to go in the ball game. 3rd and 10. The injury timeout kind of saved them one there. So they might have 1 timeout left to go when they get the ball back after this.
You'd have to hope for a turnover, or if not, a missed field goal. Or blocked one.
I don't know, we'll have to see. Another handoff. Trying to find some room, doesn't make it out there. Be a loss of 2 for the Red Devils. They'll have to punt here on, 4th down.
Well, you kept them out. Now you... Liam in the chat saying Axmal killed him.
Axmal did kill him. That's true. He's not wrong.
Gave him the hatchet.
Taking out some frustration. And look at that. Atlanta completing the comeback. Puts up 24 on Queen City, able to hold the lead and get the victory by 7. And it looks like Chicago is going to get a victory in the Thunderdome as well, as they've taken a substantial lead over OKC.
Like, I know in the overall scheme of this game, the non-call of the touchdown really doesn't matter, but that's still on the back of my mind for London here.
It's true. I mean, it did burn off a couple extra seconds that they probably could have used. So it's definitely disappointing from the London side of the equation. Martin's going to throw. Toe drag slag over on the left-hand side as we get a look at the quarterback's numbers today. Big numbers from Nathan Lee.
Now they just have to avoid tragedy and not turn it over themselves.
I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, we'll go ahead and play one final ad from our team of advertisers.
Join the world's fastest growing sim football community by jumping onto our Discord server. Use the Discord command in chat to keep up with schedules, news, notes, announcements, and polls. Jump off the sidelines and into the action, here where we're loading legends at the SFL.
London with a 3rd and 6 with 55 seconds left to go, trying to save some face, put some points on the board. Pass over to the middle of the field, that's caught by Giacomo Jones, and he got absolutely slaughtered out there in the middle of the field. Quick to get up, though. Martin's going to pass again. Has time, deep pass towards the middle. What a catch! Giacomo Jones once again with a huge catch. They'll burn their final timeout.
And what I have to ask at this point in the game is where we're earlier. Look at this pass. The coverage wasn't expecting it because they've been running it the whole time. Oh man! Speaking of getting mossed,
just an unbelievable play and tackle towards the back end there. So we got to look at Giacomo Jones. He's been relatively quiet today. Made some good plays towards the back end, kind of in garbage time here. As we're sitting at 37 seconds left to go. Down 17. Pass is tipped and knocked down.
I don't know. I feel like what's happening to them is only slightly different than what it was last week, but it's just playing a little conservatively against a team that you probably should be going after.
Now 33 seconds left to go. We get a James Richards sighting in the chat. Good to see him as always as he gets absolutely destroyed. Michael Martin sacked in the backfield. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Martin to throw again, steps up in the pocket, over to the left-hand side. That is caught, but he was in bounds when he caught it. Adamson couldn't quite make it out. As Martin will clock the ball with 9 seconds left to go. We'll play one more advertisement before we send the people home.
Don't miss the SFL podcast every Saturday night at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch before the league's weekend slate gets kicked off. Join me, Mighty RX, defending champion team owner Ramos Lynn, and our host, Jack Brown, to break down all the headlines in the SFL. Jack, yeah, I know we gotta move on. Calm down. See you there, everybody.
And a drop plagued London on that last play. 5 seconds left to go. We'll see what they can do here.
See Adamson rocking the punter guard. Only one.
Third down for Martin. Instead, he'll check it down over to the left-hand side. Gets out of bounds, so 1 more second left to go. One final play. And as we get set for that final play, Levant, do we have any final thoughts here on this ballgame?
I just feel like Indianapolis did what they needed to do to win the game by, after the slow first quarter, they started getting some tempo, they started getting the rhythm, started going for the win. They started pushing forward, something London did not do.
One final play, Mike Martin throws it over to the left-hand side, and Godspeed cannot come up with a catch. And the Red Devils will get a victory at home, 31-14 over the visiting London Knights. Indy moves to 3-3 on the year, gets back to 500. And London, now with 2 losses in a row, puts them at 3-3, going in the wrong direction. And as we go to look at the final stats and highlights, I would agree with you, Levant. I believe that Indy finally got their momentum and finally got the wheels on the ground, propelled them forward to a victory today.
They were also highly helped out by the fact that London killed their own chances by just holding the ball, holding the time. And while that's fine and dandy, you have to at least have a couple of deep balls, a couple bigger plays than what they've had to make use of that time. But if you're not in the lead, all that time doesn't matter.
Don't forget, folks, we got 3 more games coming up in our slate of action today. Houston and San Francisco will be called by Andy Hamilton. I will actually be calling Tulsa and Carolina here with Chan Varner coming up here in just a few minutes, about 20 minutes or so. And then Dallas at Vancouver will be called by the Northbrook guys, Colin and Rick. So be sure to stay tuned to YouTube for the rest of the day. For Levant Mercer and our entire broadcast crew deep in the heart of Texas for the SFL, you've been watching the SFL on the YouTube presented by APM Music. My name is Eric Vinson. Thank you for watching, and good night.